Hi, hello. This is ModelBabe again, just saying hello and hi. Basically, I've changed my background on here, so I just want you to take a look, and I hope it's okay, and I hope you like it. It's from a latest photo shoot that I had with a new photographer that I worked with. If anyone's interested in this kind of photographer, just get in contact with me, and I will put you in contact with him and see if he wants to work with you, if you're a model, that is. So, okay, well, hello, and thank you for stopping by my channel, and I hope you like my new background and the emphasis that my channel is about, which is about female sexuality and empowerment. So most of the videos are highlighting that and the way that we come across as females in the industry, whether that be the modeling industry or the video dance industry or the music industry, anything. So check it all out, and there's also some information about writing and classifying erotica as well. So if you're an erotic writer like myself, there are some websites that are pointed out on that site as to where you can go if you're trying to classify and identify whereabouts your erotica is going to be classified under. So either you're not sure whether your erotica is going to come under romance or romance erotica or erotic porn, because there's lots and lots of different categories that erotica can come under. And I myself am not really sure what category. I've done a lot of different pieces of erotic writing. Some's romance, some's not so much romance, some's erotica with romance. So I'm trying to figure out which I'm using and where I'm going to submit what to, because I do all sorts of writing besides erotica. And I'm trying to figure out whether I'm just going to keep some of the romance as purely romance with a lot more intrigue, things like blackmail thrown in, and all sorts. What else? Deceit. But obviously a typical love story supposedly always ends well, but not necessarily. So with all the bits and pieces that I write, I'm trying to categorize where to actually put it and what particular websites want what particular writing category, and I'm trying to research to find that out. Because I have noticed that there are people that review certain erotic publications that normally read romance, and they are okay with reading certain bits of soft erotica. So I'm trying to figure out where the market really lies at the moment. So that's going to be a pretty interesting project for me, because writing erotica isn't just about thinking of sex, talking about sex, reading sex and looking at it. There's a lot more to it than that. It's about making sure that it's not previously unpublished stuff that other people have done, using not just your average word to describe the word sexy, using, there are 50 different words to describe sexy, there are 50 different words to describe alluring. So it's about using a thesaurus, or if you're good at diction yourself, it's about going back over the grammar. It's about bringing a storyline into it, bringing a character to the erotica character. So if it's about a man and a woman, it's about making sure that that woman has a character in herself. Does she work? What does she look like? What's her characteristics? What's her personality? What does she wear? What does the male character look like? If it's a woman and two males, if it's two women. It's about actually making sure that you can actually visualize what these characters are that you're writing about. If you can also visualize where they are. If they're walking through a park, what are they seeing? Are they in a restaurant? If they're in a coffee house, do they smell coffee? So if they're by the swimming pool, do they hear water? What are they seeing? So writing isn't just writing. You're writing about all sorts. And when I've researched into doing normal writing, the book that I read, which is a book called the Creative Writing Course Book, I think it was called. It actually teaches you all sorts of aspects of writing fiction. Not necessarily erotic fiction, any type of fiction that you write. It's about gathering information, it's about being a diarist, which means having journals that you keep daily about what you do. That's very important as a writer, because that stimulates your mind, and I always keep journals and write about what I do, and I always put what I do daily into some kind of book, I always write about my life romantically. So it's all about, as you say, characterization. Yeah, characterization is a bit of a break there in the video. Is, like I say, giving that character an actual character. So you're not just, like I say, within erotica writing about a girl with sunglasses on. You're writing about the character of that girl. What is she? Is she happy? Is she sad? Is she subdued? You know, what is her life like? You know, is she someone that is looking for love and tends to come across the wrong situations, and the moral of the story is really looking for someone that she can connect with and love her and give her love to, but she sometimes has to live out certain fantasies with the people she meets in a means of trying to get the love that she needs. And does it work out? Does she get the love she needs, or does she have to try and find a different way? Do we bring intrigue into the book, and, like I say, deceit and blackmail? Does she then decide to blackmail a certain character on a certain subject, and does that make the book more interesting to read? So, yeah, it's basically very important as a writer to take on board all these aspects and to be very well read and to be very good at grammar, like I said, and use a thesaurus, not necessarily on your PC. If you've got a phone like this, which is a Samsung Galaxy, but you could have an iPhone or any type of phone that, you know, BlackBerry, whichever. I find personally, I can download an app. I've got a thesaurus app, so if I'm out, I can always quickly access, you know, 50 or 20 or different alternatives to a particular word to write about. So it's all very interesting, really, and definitely keeping journals is a great way, because you can always go back on what you've done and you can create storylines from your own life. I find it's very, very good as a writer, and it's a very good therapy, because you come back later to what you journaled and you can actually look at what's happened in your life in a completely different perspective. And sometimes I actually get solutions to what's going on in my life by actually journaling what's happening. So if I'm writing about my romantic love life, and I am using that as a kind of outline to a story, what I will do is write it according to how I would do it in a book. But what that actually helps me to do is, in a therapy kind of way, helps me get my head around a problem in my own personal life, if that makes sense. So by turning it into a story and what could actually happen, takes me into this fantasy land away from anything. So it helps me to a certain degree with a resolution that I may need on a problem. Now, I don't know if that makes any sense at all. If it does, good. But if it doesn't, what I'm saying is, if, let's say, you have a situation with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you're not sure what to do or how to figure it out, if you put it into a storyline, if, let's say, you're a writer, you can write about the scenario as you would like it to be. And sometimes by writing that scenario the way you would like it to be, what it actually does is it helps you focus in your day-to-day life on it actually happening in a kind of, I know that sounds very freaky, but I found a lot of things I write about seem to actually happen. Now that does sound weird, but I have actually studied something called creative visualization, and I know this is a ModelBabe sexy channel here, but I do have a spiritual channel. But basically, creative visualization is when you can focus on manifesting something you want in your life. Now, I do that through my writing a lot of the time. What I'm actually doing, as I said, is writing the storyline of my life scenario the way I would like it to go. Now, what I actually then do is probably, without realizing, subconsciously focus on that happening in my day-to-day life, and then it does happen. So I guess if all the dating people tell you not to chase a guy when you really want to do that, I guess if you write the story of you kind of playing it cool and seeing what happens, and then eventually that guy pursues you, I guess in your day-to-day life you will do the same. And it actually does happen, because that's what happens in life. You have developed a psychology for something based on a previous experience, and if you know that that previous experience has actually worked, you use it again. And it's the same with disciplining, because I have a child, a little girl, and I went through a parenting course which does teach you techniques in children when they have developed difficult behaviors. Now that is a different subject again, but basically what you do learn is basically by your mistakes. We all do, and so do children. So you also learn as a parent that if a certain method of disciplining is not working, you also learn to use a different method. And when you learn to use that method and it's successful, you use that method again. And the same thing happens with everything else. And it does also apply in your love life. If you've learned that certain techniques are losing you your romantic interests, you have then learned to develop a different technique. And if you learn that that technique works, then of course you will probably write about that technique if you're a writer. And in that example, that's what I was trying to go back to the original point, which is what you write about can actually happen, because you can manifest for yourself what you want. But then that again is another complex subject, which is going on to the world of spirituality and consciousness and manifesting, which is a different subject. But we can use that in our day-to-day lives with anything, not just if you're a creative writer trying to get inspiration or trying to work out your complicated love life in real life. It can be anything. You could be a businessman, you could be someone trying to build a house, you could be trying to deal with relationships with your children or your partner, and you may want to manifest something. And the only way to do it is to consciously focus on what you want. And by doing that, you train yourself to act in a certain way. And you may actually consciously avoid negative behaviors that you may have actually used in the past. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know where I can send you to listen to more about this. All I can say is I might post some more on consciousness and manifesting abundance. I might post more about that on my other spiritual channel, which is boxed somewhere down there. It's called Spiritual Goddess Belinda or something. Yeah, there's a lot of channels I've favorited on there, which I find quite interesting. But yeah, like I said, writing is a very good therapy, no matter what writing that is. And I've always looked back on my writing and I said, wow, is that where I was at then? Wow, I didn't believe I was doing that. Or, oh my God, was I really at that place? Wow, I'm a lot better now. I feel great. Or, you know, it's a very good way to review your life and to say, wow, this is where I am now. This is where I was then. What can I learn from where I was at to make my life better, so I can mature better and do different things, basically, in a more positive way, not just for myself and my own goals, but for the people around me, my family, my friends, and even, you know, my new friends. Because obviously, this is the day of the age of social networking. So people have got a lot more friends on Facebook and YouTube, and some, you know, we don't obviously know a lot of the people really well some of the time. So we just want a way to be able to connect with people and get on, and to be able to just do things, as I say, a lot better and more efficiently than we used to. So, yeah, that's basically it. I hope that makes sense to most people. So a bit different to the other videos I was posting before. So, yeah, it's just I just wanted to update people on my new background situation there and my creative writing perspective. So anyway, thank you for stopping by my channel, and I hope you stop by the other box channels on my page. Some are mine, some are some other people's. So I hope you enjoy, and take care, and have a good day wherever you are. Okay, bye.